Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out today. My name is Chanel Thomas Henry. I am one of the community outreach managers here for LaGuardia Airport. I'm joined by my colleagues Raquel Moss and Frank Watts. So today we're going to take you through the janitorial maintenance small business enterprise certification process and then go through some of the opportunities coming up. So I also want to acknowledge a couple of folks in the room today. We also have Hirsch Parekh with us, who is the Chief Deputy of Governmental and Community Relations for the Port Authority, our LaGuardia General Manager, Tony Vero, our Deputy General Manager, Kevin O'Driscoll, and my other colleagues will be up here later to present themselves, Anthony, Kellyanne, and Risa. So we have a quick agenda today. Again, we're going to take you through the certification process. Then you'll go through procurement process to become a JMSBE certified firm. Then Kellyanne will take you through current opportunities here at LaGuardia. We'll open it up for questions. And then closing remarks and thank you. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Anthony Miller.
Thank you, Chanel. Again, my name is Anthony Miller. I'm the Program Manager in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Just going to give you a brief overview of our department. So the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, two of our pillars is compliance and capacity building, whereas we want to advance the regional economic development by increasing minority, women-owned, disadvantaged, and small business enterprise participation in Port Authority contracting opportunities, as well as promote labor diversity in Port Authority and tenant business activities, which means all of our tenants at our facilities are responsible for the same goals that we have as an agency. Requirements to become a SBE certified firm, which stands for Small Business Enterprise with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. To qualify as a small business enterprise with certification in the janitorial maintenance category, your firm must meet all of the following criteria. Must be at least 1 year in business. Main office must be located in New York or New Jersey. Must not exceed 3-year gross receipts. Capacity specified by industry as designed by the SBA, which is currently for janitorial maintenance $19.5 million. Next, I'll turn it over to my esteemed colleague, Ms. Risa Resnick, Chief Legal Procurement for the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Risa?
Good afternoon, everyone. I thank Anthony for getting past the good morning, because I would have definitely done that. Okay, let me just put this on. So as Anthony said, my name is Risa Resnick. I work in the procurement department, and I oversee the JMSBE program with a member of my staff who unfortunately is not here today, Sherry Ruffin. I've probably spoken with some of you in the room, maybe have even met with you by Teams, but I'm going to run through the process of how to register with the Port Authority as a vendor, which doesn't really have anything to do with the program, but just in case you're not familiar with doing business with us, I wanted to walk you through that, and then the JMSBE program. So this is our website. Towards the top, when you go to PANYNJ, there's a variety of different buttons, and one of them is doing business with the Port Authority. It may fall under a different main capacity, but this is easily findable. What I wanted to focus on really is right here, the vendor portal. Information for doing business. If you go to vendor portal, it will walk you through how to register and get a supplier number as a Port Authority vendor. And that would be for any kind of contract you may bid on or propose on with the Port Authority. You get assigned a vendor number. This is a really fun page also for a variety of reasons. This shows you contracting activity, what kind of opportunities are currently out there, a bunch of other information about doing business with us, as well as Anthony's world of diversity, and then a couple of other opportunities as well. Okay, so if you click on that vendor supplier registration, this is the screen that will show up. If you already have it, it tells you how to log in. If you are a new supplier, you can click here to register. There's a way to search. And this is connected to the email address paprocure@panynj.gov that is run by my vendor management staff. So any questions any issues related to this, they're the ones to help out. They're Virginia and Gladys. You may have spoken with them as well. And then we now run all of our solicitations through the Bonfire platform. And so you have to create a Bonfire account. There's information here how to register. It's free. But what happens is we post our advertisements on our website. For the majority of our contracts, the JMSBE program is slightly different because it's a targeted solicitation, but it still goes through Bonfire. So everybody gets a Bonfire account, and what happens is things that are advertised, whether directly solicited or on our website, they have a link to get to the documents on the Bonfire platform, and then to upload your bid to the Bonfire platform. And that's how it is all conducted now. This is since COVID. Yeah. Oh, hi. Sorry about that. How are you?
I'm fine. My name is Nade, owner of Nizam LLC. My question is, if you already have a Bonfire account, do we have to create another one just for the Port Authority, or the one you have will cover that one as well?
I don't think you have to create a new one. You may, but you will somehow have to get a particular Port Authority vendor number. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to jot that down, and I will get back to, I'll ask for your contact info and happily get back to you with a specific answer. I don't believe so. I think it carries over, but I don't know the machinations behind that. So I want to give you the right information. Any other questions before I keep going? Okay, great. So, so bids come in through the Bonfire platform. Okay, next slide. This is one of the handouts that my friends in this wonderful office made available up front. This is really a cheat sheet on where to find information. It has a bunch of different links that you can click on. The download button is what you have, the printout in front of you. It has contact information, who to contact, how to get information that you need. Procurement operations, those are the folks that I mentioned run the setting up accounts. There's accounts payable. They're the ones who you want to get paid from, so we want to make sure all of that information is current. And professional services, if anyone is in the professional service world, there's a questionnaire that leads to call-in agreement solicitations, and then this is what Anthony mentioned, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our whole office, we have an ODEI office that runs that. Okay, so next slide, what we're really here to talk about is the JMSBE program. That wasn't me again, right? Janitorial Maintenance Small Businesses Enterprises. So that's what the acronym stands for. So as Anthony mentioned, we have a lot of facilities, not just airports and not just LaGuardia, but most of our cleaning contracts for our facilities are let through this JMSBE set-aside program. The exclusion is the Port Authority Bus Terminal due to its size. And so it's broken down into 3 categories. The program has firms that are pre-qualified up to $500,000 annually. These are generally 3-year contracts, so it would be up to a $1.5 million contract, then up to $2 million, and then over $2 million. And those are presently the 3 categories in the program. We currently have 33 firms, and this is the breakdown. There's 13 in the lower category of up to $500,000 a year. 11 are New York based, 2 are in New Jersey, and of the 11 in New York, 4 are Queens based. I am a Queens native. I grew up actually in Flushing, so it's exciting to be back home. They're in the up to $2 million category. There's 14 firms, an equal split, 7 in New York and 7 in New Jersey, and 2 of those are Queens based. And then in the over $2 million, this has 6 firms, 3 New York, 3 New Jersey. No Queens, but 2 in Brooklyn. And there is an alphabetical list that I made sure was current as of this morning. This is the link, if I can ask you to click on it. So this is the janitorial maintenance link. Thank you. Yep. Okay. Great. So yeah, if you scooch down a little on the screen, alphabetical and location. And these are the 33 that are currently in the program. Thank you, my assistant. Okay, so these are the 13 firms. It's alphabetical on our website, but here is the category breakdown. We have recently added 4 to this list, so we are always trying to increase the number of firms that are in all of the categories, bless you, with a particular focus right now on local companies. So this is the list for of the 13 in the up to 500,000. Then here's the up to 2 million. This is 14 firms. So I guess this is a slightly bigger category of firms than the last one. By that I mean 13 versus 14. Yes, hi.
Sorry, another question.
No, please.
The value of the contract you are allowed to bid on depend on your yearly revenue or your capability?
Well, it depends on which category you're pre-qualified in. So all of that is taken into account when an application comes out. I'll walk you through that in a little bit, but when an application comes in, it asks for your references, it asks for your history, it asks for, you know, what the value of the business of this type has been recently, and it is then evaluated and a determination is made as to which category your firm would be most appropriate for at this time. There are firms that have moved from category to category as time goes on and as opportunities increase with their capacity. So we're always happy to have a dialogue to try to help with that.
Now, so
No, please. That's what we're here for.
I'm sorry, I have 2 companies, right? But the one I'm trying to put here is the one that is certified with the authority of New York and New Jersey. But my other company, we already work on more than $2 million contract on it. So can that be any kind of like reference or how do you say that, like scale to help me with that one? You say, okay, we already use to work on, $1 million of contract.
So the one firm is already certified as in the janitorial program, or
No,
not yet? Okay, why don't we talk after this, and I can certainly try to help you one-on-one with whatever additional questions you may have. No problem. And then here's the last category, the over 2 million. As you can see, this is the smallest category with only 6 firms, but 3 New York, 3 New Jersey, and a shout out to our fellow 718ers in Brooklyn. Okay, so how to apply to the JMSBE program. Presently, to be considered, you must be certified as an SBE by our friends in ODEI. Anthony mentioned that. It has historically been in the quote-unquote janitorial maintenance category. That aligns with the 19.2 SBA threshold. If you do general cleaning work, if you do facilities maintenance work, if you do anything that smells like cleaning, I would suggest that you apply. When you are getting your registration and certification with ODEI, I would also encourage you, I'm not that savvy with what NIGP codes are related to the janitorial space, but I would suggest that you check as many as possible to cast as wide a net as possible. Not necessarily if you cleaning supplies, if you don't provide cleaning supplies, but if it sounds like cleaning, I would say throw that in there. And Anthony's team and other friends of his in the office can help walk through the process of becoming SBE certified in whatever category. Okay, so once certified, there's a letter that you'll receive, and it says, congratulations, welcome to the program. You are pre-qualified in whichever category it is. If we can click on this for a second, we can walk you through this one. The request for pre-qualification application, it requests for pre-qualification information. It is an application in essence. Back to our, and then right here in the main, Am I doing that? Okay. Right here, yep, if you click on there, it's going to take you to a fillable PDF. We have been making great strides in making this more user-friendly and easier to fill out with a lesser amount of information than we used to ask for to try to expedite the process. So this will walk you through the history of the program, what it actually does, and then if you, you'll keep going, I'm sorry, it'll take you to the end is where you fill out, next page, sorry, all of the information. So if we can stop here for 1 second, because I know sometimes this is what gives people the most difficult time filling this out. Can you just scooch up a little so I can see the title of this? Okay, so this is the contracts that you currently have. We've put in 5 pages. If you need more, you can put in more. But what contract do you currently have? Who is it for? You know, where is it? When did it start? How long is it for? What is the annual dollar value? And then what is the total dollar value? So we can have a sense of your capacity, as you mentioned earlier. Staffing hours, a little bit of a summary, and then this will repeat itself as well as, so here's the reference that we're going to call. Either page, it's at the bottom of all the pages. Name, contact information of folks that we can call to check the references. Oh, lots of questions. I'm going to take you in the back, sir. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I'm Tony Hamilton, Green Line Phoenix.
Oh, nice to meet you. How are you?
Thank you. I'm late. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorriness. So I recently completed an application like this, maybe about 2 weeks ago. And then I got an email saying that they had an updated version. What's the difference between this one and the one that I completed 2 weeks ago?
This one's probably easier to fill out, to be honest with you. But I'll be happy to talk to you afterwards, because if you've already filled out everything that we already need, it just may be asking for less. And if I'm not mistaken, you are in the program already, correct?
Yes, I am.
So here's one of our success stories that we were talking about earlier for capacity change in category. Next question. Hi.
Hi, I'm Sherry. I'm representing King's Maintenance Services.
Nice to meet you, Sherry.
Nice to meet you. I have a quick question about what was at the top of this form.
Sure.
Title of contract. That feels too specific and therefore confusing to me. Like, what contract are we supposed to be talking about on this form?
Okay, so if we go back to the instruction piece, it's going to tell you what exactly it is that we're looking for. A little further, stop. Number 4, so listing of commercial industry contracts that you currently have to satisfy the qualifications and the experience. Listen, I'm open to feedback. If that is confusing, if there's something different that it should say that will make it easier, by all means, let me know. But that is basically the contract that you currently have or had in the past that you are submitting as experience to become pre-qualified in the program.
Okay, as the English-speaking administrator helping my non-English-speaking CEO navigate this landscape, I may have some feedback for you.
Okay, perfect. And feedback is welcome. Hi.
Hi, my name is Carmen. I'm with the Imaging Association.
Hi, Carmen.
Hi. So I just finished filling out this application literally yesterday.
Oh, great.
So that specific page, I've been working with Sherry.
Yeah. Yep.
I know she's not here today, but
No.
I actually, on that page, I put the past contract that I already ended.
Yes.
That were already finished, and then there's another page where it says work at hand. That's where I put all the current ones. So I don't know if I did it right or wrong.
That sounds right to me. I think that not everybody has contracts that have both concluded and they are currently performing. So we want to see it all. If it's in the past and done, tell us about it. If it's current and still ongoing, tell us about it. If you've submitted a bid or a proposal and you're not quite sure if you're going to get it, but you might, tell us about that too.
Okay.
No worries.
Sorry, one more question. So while we're filling out this form, if we do have more nuanced questions particular to our situation, is there a person that we can contact to ask these questions?
Yes, and I will tell you afterwards, so there's the mailbox that you would submit this to, which is manned by Sherry Ruffin of my staff and myself. My information is going to be available at the end of this as well as Sherry's, so we are welcome to any kind of questions. And again, If there's feedback on the form that would make it easier for you to fill out, please. That's how we got to this version. Our tech genius helped us do a fillable PDF, and so we are more than happy to try to help with this process. Any other questions on the application? Okay. I think we can, if you actually don't mind, can we just go down a little bit more? So that's 4A. Stop for a sec. 4B, active contracts currently being performed. So you probably did this exactly the way you were supposed to. I'm now seeing that A and B could be a little confusing, so noted. And then if you go down a little bit further, 4C, oops, sorry, back up. One more page up. That's okay. So 4C is what I mentioned, anything that you've submitted a bid or proposal on, and when you think you may hear about whether you have been successful in receiving that work or not. Okay, that's it with the application. Thank you. Okay, so that was here. So currently the prereqs, within the last 3 years, at least one contract of at least $75,000 annually. I'm going to tell you if you have multiple contracts that equal that amount or more, submit an application. We are trying to increase the pool of firms in the program, and so we are looking at whatever information we can get. This is how it's historically been done. We know that COVID had a lot of impacts on firms, so don't be shy to submit an application, because if it's deemed that your firm's not appropriate right now, I remember taking this from Dr. Wright, who runs our ODEI office, it's not a no, it's just a not now. We can also walk you through various different places on our website to see other opportunities. So right, this is the application that we just talked about. This is the email website, and then any questions, please send them to this email address. It is monitored by Sherry and myself. Not Sherry from Kim's, though. Sherry Ruffin of my staff. Okay, next slide. Okay, so now what happens? Your application is submitted, it is reviewed, the references are called, and then there's a committee that reviews all of them, and you will be contacted if there's any information that's missing, if we need anything else, if we have questions, if we need to answer some of your questions. And then if your firm is deemed pre-qualified, you're going to get a letter that says, congratulations and welcome to the program. It's sent by email, and it has my John Hancock on it, though it's a computer-generated one because you wouldn't be able to read it if it was my actual scribble. This is an important note that I just want to make sure is clear to everyone. Inclusion in the program doesn't guarantee that you're going to be awarded a contract or that you're going to be solicited for a contract. Let me just explain how that process works. I'm joined by my colleague in the corner there, Shantae Nelson, who is a manager in our commodities and services group within procurement, and this falls under her purview. So as I mentioned earlier, there's the categories. The contracts are generally let by category. So depending on the amount of the contract, it'll be solicited to one of the firms, to one of the categories, to all of the firms within that category. Firms would then need to submit a bid in response to that solicitation, and then be the lowest responsible bidder to be awarded the contract. So this is giving an opportunity to firms to be solicited to submit bids, but it does not guarantee that you are going to get a contract. I know sometimes there's some confusion with that. Similarly, getting the SBE certification in the janitorial cleaning space doesn't automatically make you a member of the JMSBE pre-qualified program. You have to go through the pre-qualification application process. Okay, so then, I jumped ahead. Sorry. Okay, so once certified, I'm sorry, now I went back too far. Here we go. Okay, so once certified and pre-qualified, where there are solicitations, you'll be solicited. Those come, again, by an email from the Bonfire World that identifies, hey, there's a solicitation for cleaning services at chair location. And it'll have how you bid, who to contact with questions for the bid, what is required, the dates, all of that information. There is also a forecast on our website We've been doing a lot of work on our public website, so it has a lot of information. I don't always know where to find it, but here is a little bit of info about the program that you've all just already heard from me. And hold on one second. This link takes you to, you don't have to click, but this one takes you to that list and the application. And then here is the forecast, and you'll see you can look by category or at all the opportunities. And so the procurement approach, JMSBE set aside, that simply means it's going to go to the firms within a particular category depending upon the estimate of the contract. Yes, sir?
I have a question.
Sure.
How do you get placed in a particular category? So hypothetically speaking, let's say you had a job for $1 million, right? Then you had another job for, let's say, $3 million. Is it an average, or is it the highest dollar value job that you've had?
That's a great question.
And the reason I'm asking this, we had a job that far exceeded the category that we're in. And I do not understand how is it that we're placed in that particular category.
At the time,
Yes.
you're saying?
Yes.
I will have to look into that and get back to you, but we welcome all of the information about contracts, full amounts, low amounts. It's, we look at the contracts that we are going to be letting and getting a sense of what they are. So, for instance, if something, oh, goodness, did I do that? I feel like Urkel. It's nothing when somebody doesn't bring Urkel up. Okay, so for instance, I'm just going to look at this Lincoln Tunnel. It's saying it's quarter 2, 2025. It's about a 1.2 a year. So if you multiply that by 3, that's 3.6, if you will. So this would be ripe for an over $2 million, up to $2 million a category. So it would be about give or take about a $3.5 to $4 million contract. We would look at the experience of the firms in determining which category they're placed in before they're in the program. Can they handle a contract of this kind of a size? So as I mentioned earlier, if you are interested in a bump up I can't imagine someone's interested in a bump down, but if anybody is ever in a category and wants to increase, show us the additional information, the additional contracts, the additional revenue, and it will certainly be considered. Yes?
I don't want to hog the...
That's okay. We can talk after, but I'm happy to take your question
So
now.
hypothetically speaking again, if you're in a category, let's say the $2 million category, and then there's a bid out for 1.8, would you be eligible, since it's so close, to bid the 1.8?
I'm looking for Shantae.
Or the reverse, if you're 2 million, but it's now 2.2.
I mean, it depends on if you're making, I guess, the annual, that kind of aligns with that estimation, then it may be something to consider. If you're only making $2 million annually and it's a $5 million, $6 million, so.
But it's close.
Yeah, I think it could be
So I
considered.
can call it.
You can give me a call, but yeah, we'll work that out and find out.
Is that just janitorial annual, or is it your total business?
I think we're talking about the total business, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so that places you in one of the categories. And so when there are solicitations, it is solicited to that category. So if it's not solicited to your category, you wouldn't necessarily, I'm not going to say you wouldn't know about it because it would be on our forecast, but you wouldn't be directly solicited.
I
And
want to be very careful about that too. So if you have multiple, I know that smaller firms sometimes they handle a lot of different things. So if you're a grocery store and you're only doing $100,000 in cleaning, you can't expect to get a $1 million contract for the cleaning, even though you have $1 million in revenue from grocery stores. So it just, you have to really think about the service and how your income aligns with the actual service and the value of the service that you will be contributing to. Okay, I'm just gonna say that here.
Thank you.
All right.
And it's going to say, because it doesn't matter if you completed, because the gentleman is asking if you have a contract that's of a larger amount, but if it's not completed, then you can consider what that larger amount is. You can say I have a $3 million contract, but if it's ongoing and you only got paid $2 million, you didn't make $3 million. So does the completion of the contract matter when you're looking for changing the category?
I mean,
Right. Yeah, so that would be, so Shantae handles the solicitation piece and I handle the pre-certification, the pre-qualification piece. I want to go back because in order to get into the program, we said it's a minimum of $75,000 over the course of, I think it's the past year, if I remember correctly. So that's what we look at initially, but for the references, it's references for this type of service. So your company may be very large and have a lot of revenue, but we're going to want to see that you can do the type of work that we're looking for. And if that's not super clear on the application, by all means, let me know. We're always looking to make improvements. Okay, I jumped ahead again. All right, so this is what we just looked at, the forecast page, and then you may always reach out to call for a debrief. Since I've been doing this, which is probably the past 4 years or so, we have not issued a sorry you're not qualified letter. What we've done is we have spoken with the firms that are not quite ready yet and have walked them through what kind of opportunities there would be. We've taken them through our redevelopment websites. We've showed them some of our opportunities to subcontract on other contracts, and I'll walk you through that so it'll make a little bit more sense. So by all means, you can reach out. I know several of you mentioned Sherry Ruffin already. I know she engages very regularly with the janitorial community. Okay, so here's some additional information. Hot off the presses, there will soon be, I need to update this because there is now an interested subcontracting link on the page. What happens in our regular on website contracts that have this literally went up this morning, so there's nothing to show here, but if I can trouble you to go to one of our main pages, can we do that? If you could go, yep, so how I navigate, if you can go to more, there's probably a much more efficient way to do this. If you could also go to business opportunities. It's nice, I'm not the only one who has delays when I try to get to our website. It's starting the holiday weekend early. If you could go to, let's go to, what do you like, Shantae? Goods and services, since Shantae's here. Goods and services, current opportunities. If you scooch down a little, go to an opportunity. Okay, so here you go. For example, here is an RFI for something rail related. Anybody that wants to can go and click on this. It'll take you to the bonfire to get the information, to get the documents. But let's say you think, oh, maybe there's an opportunity for subcontracting and some cleaning work here. So you would click on this, which is the same kind of a form, interested in being a subcontractor. And then it gets submitted. And then if we can go back one page. Let's hope this isn't one that doesn't have one. View interested PA certified subcontractors list. So if you click on that, of course there isn't a list here yet because it's probably a new solicitation. Let's pick one that's a little lower down if we could. Yeah, go down a little further. Stop. No, joint bars. I need something that's not necessarily just a good. Yeah, keep going down. Okay, view interested subcontractors list.
Oh, the whole thing.
Huh,
But essentially what would happen is...
we're gonna find one.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, no, not that.
Not bad either.
Oh, we're looking for a lot of goods. This, let's look at this one.
That one.
Yep. Okay, so this is what gets populated and posted. It'll be right beneath where it says, I'm interested in being a subcontractor. You're gonna fill out the form. This is what's going to come out. So anybody can click on that on our public website, whether with the JMSBE program or not, but they will also get a copy of it. Hey, look, Toll International is interested as being a subcontractor. If you scooch over to the right on the screen, gives you the contact information, asks for what kind of stuff you do, what is your Port Authority certification with the ODEI office, and I don't know what the other two columns say. I think it auto-populates when you filled it out, and, oh, are you Port Authority certified? Because sometimes firms are certified with the state of New York or New Jersey or with the cities and not with the Port Authority. When our contracts speak to getting credit for meeting our 2010 and 3 goals, it's for Port Authority certified contractors, subcontractors. So this kind of information will be posted and available, which is another great opportunity for you to get exposure and also put yourself out there that, hey, I'm interested in being a subcontractor on whatever kind of cleaning opportunities may arise. Thank you. Okay, so we got through that. So if you're not pre-qualified, please reach out, reapply. If you are qualified and you want to bump up, fill out the application, give us all the information you need. Let me just go back one more time to the form, because somebody had asked this question yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry, no, to my talk on the form, not the form itself.
Oh, okay.
You're not required to fill this out. It is not a prerequisite for the program. It's just really an opportunity for you to put yourself out there and let your firm be known that you are a cleaning contractor and you want to be considered for whatever business is. Okay, so here's what, oops. You would think by now I would know how to do this, right? So any questions? Oh, JMSBE program at PANYNJ.gov. That's the program specified email address. So Sherry, who is sorry she's not here today, she handles the day-to-day. She and I work very closely together. This is her phone number. She and I monitor this email box along with some others, and then you can always contact me. This is where you can find me, and it has my wrong email address because I forgot the N. Apologies. I have some business cards on me, but I'll have to correct that. So that concludes my portion of the presentation this morning. Any other questions? Yes, Sherry.
Is the Port Authority MBE distinct from Port Authority SBE?
Yes. I'm going to let Anthony speak to that one.
So the answer is yes, right? All the certifications, the Port Authority offers 6 certifications. They're all distinct, right? One doesn't overlap the other, the one doesn't supersede the other, and they're Port Authority specific. So your MBE certification with the city, it's fine for your business, but it doesn't qualify for the PA. Your certification with the state is good for your business, but it doesn't qualify you for the Port Authority. Port Authority self-fund our own projects, so you need to be Port Authority certified. Are we clear on that? Okay. You need to be Port Authority certified. Now, Port Authority doesn't have an LBE program. We don't have a local business enterprise. That's a city program, so that wouldn't apply anywhere.
If you are MWB certified, the Port Authority,
Right.
you can apply for the project, that will cover it.
If you are MWP certified with the Port Authority, what was your question?
Yes, you can apply for the program.
Yes, absolutely. So, and let me take it 2 steps back. So we said a lot of things about registration, certification, pre-qualification. So to become registered with the Port Authority through the procurement portal, you want to do that. All firms want to do that. And if you're going to do business as a prime, you're going to have to do that because you won't get paid. Simply as that, right? But the registration allows you to raise your profile with the procurement group, so when there's notifications for jobs, whether janitorial supplies, janitorial firm, contract, etc., you can get notifications under a certain dollar value that's outside of this program. So you want to register. That is free. Call 10 minutes. Certification, it is free. You need to become certified with the Port Authority directly because we fund our own projects. We receive grant funding for reimbursement for AIP grants, State of Good Repair, but we fund our own projects and we get reimbursed. So you need to be certified with the Port Authority to participate for credit on our programs. All right? And then when we talk about pre-qualification, for JMSBE, there's pre-qualification. We have other pre-qualifications for engineering, architectural firms, and et cetera. The pre-qualification, it is not certification.
Also free, though.
And free, but it is not certification, right? As well as registration, it is not certification. So you want to register, you want to certify, and you want to pre-qualify. So become a certified MWBE in janitorial maintenance, put you in position to become pre-qualified for the JMSB program, okay? So you can't become pre-qualified if you're not certified first. First step is certification. Second step, pre-qualification, okay? Yes, ma'am.
If I'm certified with the state of New York, New Jersey, can I fast track my application?
So that sounds nice. We do have what we call fast track, which is with Empire State in particular and with the city, New York City. However, keep in mind, you have to be applying for the first time. If you're already certified, that doesn't apply to you, right, in terms of the fast track. Because in the system, you have to identify that you're certifying with those other entities. Once you become certified with one of them, they will fast track it with us and vice versa. So the fast track happens electronically, but you have to do it at the time you're applying. If you're already certified with one of them and you want to become certified with us, you submit your application and paperwork identifying that you're certified, and we will try to also fast track it for you in that way, right? But you could be solicited to submit more information. So I don't want to give you any false idea. If you're already certified with the city and you come with us, they may ask you for your full packet. But if you get certified with the city and you want to fast track it, when you were getting certified, it's just an addendum. It's 2 pages.
Yeah, I think, I should remember, when you apply for the state, they say fact track everything. This is how I back myself. When I apply for the state,
Yes.
I fact track for the photo.
Fantastic.
For MTA, so everything got fact tracked. And I got
Fantastic. But that only happens when you're doing it for the first time. You can't come after 2 years being certified and say, I want to be fast tracked. You don't get to make that decision, right? That happens within the organization. So I just want to be clear, right? Okay. Any other question?
All right, thank you so much all for your time and attention. But we're going to pass it over to our friends affiliated with LaGuardia Airport. We have our general manager, Tony Vero.
Thank you so much, guys. So listen, I want to start by telling all of you how much I really appreciate you being here today. It means the world to me personally and to LaGuardia Airport, sincerely. So we heard Anthony and we heard Rissa talk about, first of all, the commitment of the Port Authority to growing local, small, and minority participation in our contracts. And we're totally serious about that. At LaGuardia Airport, I want you to know how committed we are to giving back to the community that hosts us. We are trying very, very hard to grow that participation at the airport, like the Port Authority is trying to grow it across all of our facilities. So that's why we were here. Rissa helped you to understand how to do business with the Port Authority, how to get certified as an SBE, and then get pre-qualified as a JMSBE. And listen, if you've been thinking about doing work with the port, you've been thinking about doing work at LaGuardia Airport, I'm here to tell you now is the time. There's a small city across the street. We have 16,000 employees working there, and we have tons of business opportunities that are dying for your expertise. And we genuinely can use your services at the airport. It's a great place. I've been there for 20 years. We'd love to see you working at LaGuardia with us. So now I'm going to introduce our maintenance manager, Kellyanne Valentine, and she's going to tell you about several opportunities we have coming up at LaGuardia Airport for you to break ground and start to do business with us, or to continue to do business with us in the field of janitorial maintenance.
All right, so yes, thank you, Tony. I'm Kellyanne Valentine. I'm the maintenance manager for LaGuardia Airport. We have about 170, 180 Port Authority staff that we maintain the airfield, the runways, the taxiways. We do the gardening, HVAC, plumbing, Port Authority buildings, things like that. But what we also do, which is really key in our maintenance division, is we oversee a lot of very important service contracts. So I'm excited to be here today because I'm going to talk to you about a really cool area where we believe we may have some opportunities to enhance our connection with the community with respect to JMSBE. So we're sort of assessing that. So I'm going to talk about some things that we're exploring. They're in the parking lots janitorial space. And, you know, not only am I really excited to be here and see so many of you guys and the fact that this room is really packed, and that means we might be successful in what we're trying to do here. But also we really love our cleaners. They're like part of our family. We know them, we see them every day. We're all colleagues. So this is exciting, especially just because of our connection with our cleaners. But the parking facilities, we just got rated North America's #1 airport or something like that. LaGuardia has made a huge transformation, and cleanliness and condition is a huge part of that. So this is really important to us because the parking lots are a first touch point when you come to the airport. If you're accessing by car, it's a large surface area, it's a large footprint, so we take cleaning very, very seriously in the parking lots. So thank you all for being here. I hope this means really good things to come. So like I said, so we're exploring how can we do more with janitorial maintenance, small business enterprise. How can we look at sort of these really key contracting opportunities with third parties and maybe sort of break up our scopes so that we have more opportunities to engage, especially locally here. So I'm going to walk through some scenarios that we're currently looking at. So there's sort of 4 scopes that I'll talk about. So the first one, so if you look at a map of LaGuardia Airport, it's sort of divided in 2 sections, sort of like an east and a west. It's sort of divided by runway 422. On the west side, we have sort of 3 sets of lots, public employee and for-hire vehicle lots. Well, actually, the for-hire vehicle lots are across facility. But in terms of the west side, public and employee, so we have Terminal A on the west side and then Terminals B and C on the east side. So Terminal A, our small terminal, there's a small parking lot there. We also have a pre-book only lot that's there and open to the public who have reservations, parking reservations. And then a couple miles off the airport, we have another pre-book only lot that's open during peak periods only, called LaGuardia Discount Parking. And then our large employee parking lot where most of our employees park, P10, that's also on our west side. And then we have our Port Authority Administration building where Tony, Kevin, and myself work, as well as some other adjacent buildings for staff that have parking facilities that are for the staff there. And then for the for-hire vehicle community, so your Ubers and Lyfts, as well as our taxi hold lots, a lot of traffic, a lot to do there in those spaces. So because of all of this area and all these different populations of vehicles parking and staging, we have over 1 million square feet that we have to clean. So looking at that, you could carve that out probably, but this is sort of one big scope that we're looking at. What can we do with this? So what would you be doing? Trash and debris removal. People still do graffiti occasionally, that happens. Clean the stairwells. You get the drift there. In the for-hire vehicle and the taxi hold spaces, it's very high traffic, very high turn. There's a lot to do, but there's also adjacent amenity spaces, so prayer spaces. They have their own restrooms for the taxi, the Uber, the Lyft drivers. For Terminal C, it's an actual building just to hold their taxis, so they do have their own restrooms and meditation/prayer rooms there that have to be clean. But in the for-hire vehicle staging lot, which is off airport, we have a separate vendor for porta potties, so that would not be included there. But in the restrooms, sanitizing, mopping, replenishing sanitary supplies, things like that. On the west side, we also have a couple bus shelters that need cleaning. And then on snow season, around the perimeters of the parking lots, the roadways, the walkways, the perimeter area, so sort of limited areas during snow season, there would be some pre-treating and snow clearing on the walkways and bus shelters there as well on the west side. So this is sort of one key thing that we're looking at, whereas right now we have sort of everything, all parking under one big bucket. The second carve-out that we're exploring as a potential area, so this is kind of subject to change into our analysis, is for our largest parking facility. So this is the Terminal B parking garage. It's very large. You can see it from the GCP. It's 2,600 spaces, parking spaces. It's 7 levels. It's also over 1 million square feet, so it's huge. Within that, there's public parking, but there's also a for-hire vehicle pickup area for the Terminal B customers that are getting like their Ubers and Lyfts and other prearranged services on level 2. Similar as on the west side, trash and debris removal, graffiti removal, sweeping, and then for elevators that are in the garage, some mopping of the elevators, things like that. Terminal C, which serves Delta Airlines, it has a smaller parking garage, but also a lot of square feet, under 500,000 square feet. So this would be the janitorial for that facility, as well as a very small restroom and an adjacent electrical substation. In the restroom and the electrical substation, replenishing of the sanitary supplies would also be included in the scope there as well. And then a slightly smaller opportunity that we're looking at potentially for like the smallest category of JMSBE would be for more of a deep cleaning, sort of a agreed upon schedule. We would work on a schedule that sort of ensures some level of expectation as to what the business would be during the year, but we don't have that exactly right now, but it would be more of the pressure washing, degreasing, steam cleaning, more specialized cleaning for the floors and the surfaces in these areas, things that you wouldn't do on a daily basis. We have directional and wayfinding signage in the parking facilities that needs wiping down. It has to have stickers removed from it. We have to wipe off markings and writings that are on those signs sometimes from members of the public. Deep cleaning of the bus shelters, so actually wiping down all of the exterior and the exterior and the roof. We may do some pressure washing inside of the bus shelters. The elevator encasements as the elevators travel up and down, cleaning those structures would be part of this. And then something that we also probably wouldn't do that routinely, but we would do under this type of a smaller sort of arrangement would be to do carpet cleaning and rug cleaning in those for-hire vehicle lot meditation spaces that they occupy. So this would be sort of a smaller firm. So those are really, yes, question. No, go ahead.
I know these are in the preliminary stages, but that being said, approximately you guys have like a timeline of when these would be like packaged and presented. Listen, I'm sorry for hogging the floor. Just like,
no, it's great. It's a very great and a very. Yeah, it's like, who wants to answer this one?
Opportunities are becoming available this year, like in the next few months, we just don't have an exact date yet.
all right, good. Fair enough.
Yes, ma'am.
Suggestion. I know you said you have employees working on your right? So have you thought of hiring companies to provide call services? Let's say one of the employees is sick or taking vacation, or we have a company on our hand that can provide us with staff in case we have those kind of emergency. Just a suggestion.
Don't we have emergency calling contracts?
I'm not really sure if they would fall in line with something like that. I mean,
You mean for our staff? You mean like for our Port Authority staff? Well, we have represented staff, unionized staff. There may be some cases where something like that could work, but I mean, I guess kind of broadly, that's how we view these contracts, as like an extension of us, right? Like we need these third parties because we don't have the manpower. So you have one opportunity there where, we could have some sort of like agreed upon schedule level of activity for the deep cleaning. And it would be for a smaller firm for that one.
Kellyanne, speak to that point you just made though. So the staff, the workers are unionized. So to make sure, I think it's important that everyone here hears that issue, right? So just elaborate on that a little bit more.
Oh yeah, well, the ones on the cleaning contract or the Port Authority staff?
Cleaning contract.
Yeah, so the cleaning contracts have a variety of unions that are part of those contracts. So I don't know how much of the details I can get into, but So any firm that's looking to do business with us, I think you would probably reach out to procurement, and we would tell you sort of what the unions are, and then there would be a process by which, we would kind of help you understand how to connect with them, because that sort of our collective bargaining relationships are there and will persist.
So my question is, are we going to assume those unions?
Yeah, we expect to be well versed on how to maintain that. So we typically, don't give too much information on like who, what, where, how we have it, we hand it over, but we expect you to, if we give you the wrong union information, you're not pointing back saying, well, the Port Authority says union X, Y, Z. You need to be able to make sure within that area, within the line of work that you're.
So I guess my question related to that is, let's say the work that's being done now is supported by 32BJ, and we have someone else as our union. Can we still have to deal with 32BJ, or can we bring all?
The way I understand with union harmony, you have to maintain union harmony. So if
Port
there
Authority
is a union in claim jurisdiction, that's what you have to do. And if you don't have a union and they're claiming it, then you make whatever negotiations with them to bring that about. But we would definitely urge you to make sure that you're clear about those expectations on union harmony, and so that we don't have any big rats.
So union locals in particular, they have jurisdiction over certain job categories at certain locations, right? So you may work with a union at another location. That doesn't mean that that union has jurisdiction over the cleaning work at LaGuardia, right? Another union local typically will have that jurisdiction. You have to maintain union harmony with that union that has claiming jurisdiction over LaGuardia position.
I heard you, if I may. So the Port Authority is a prevailing wage institution, right?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. So as they were stating about the union, as it relates to the scope of work, the Port Authority overall is a prevailing wage institution, right? So if you're working on a Port Authority facility and it doesn't have a union a part of that agreement, like janitorial maintenance does, because the amount of work you're doing and the size and scale, then it would be prevailing wage, right? But the scope of work we're talking about has union affiliations, so you, as a business owner who's bidding on the work, it will be necessary for you to maintain union harmony, to learn what those unions are and negotiate whatever, again, that's between you and the union. But it will require you to do due diligence on what it requires to become a union janitorial maintenance firm at our facility.
My last question.
No, not at all.
I'm not sure if should be pointing this question to somebody else, but
Let's
is
go.
it a case where you'll be required to join the union, or is it a case where like a PLA could come into play?
Well, that means if the union is there, it's already there, so you'll be required to join the union. A PLA is project specific, right?
So, just because you signed up with the union at this site, that does not then transfer over to all of your other projects, right? So what this is saying is, you are agreeing to union harmony with the union at this site for this contract. That does not, if you have contracts elsewhere, again, you work with the union, but that doesn't automatically transfer union jurisdiction to your other employees at other sites you may have to provide services at.
No, you got more, I know you do. I see it in you. But to that point, a project labor agreement is project specific, right? So if it's project labor agreement at LaGuardia, it doesn't apply necessarily at JFK, at Newark, and et cetera. So again, you would still be required to do your due diligence to learn what is needed for that agreement at that location, right? Because a project labor agreement is not an umbrella, it's specific, project specific, it's negotiated that way. Okay? Yes.
The whole person.
Okay, thank you.
I have two questions, just to follow up on the first question.
Okay.
When you guys do settle on the ways that you want to differentiate the scopes of work, how can we stay up to date about, when that happens and what it is that you decide on? That's my first question.
Well, I could start. One, if you're certified, you're going to get notifications, right? Because we're going to send information out. Two, if you register that you're interested, that's another way procurement sends out information about registration. And 3, all of us are here today, so business cards, emails, you can stay in contact. I have business cards, so if you want to send an email inquiring, you have this office. This office is your resource, right? So Chanel and team is your resource.
And just to be clear, being certified as a Port Authority certified firm doesn't set you up as a Port Authority registered firm. So you have to go on to PA Procure, register your website, your company's information. In addition, you want to associate the commodity codes that you're actually providing. Because if you just set your name up and there's no commodity codes associated with it, then when opportunities come available according to that commodity code, you won't get any information because your vendor profile doesn't have anything aligned with it. Okay.
One quick question.
Sure.
So, in order to qualify for the janitorial maintenance SBE program, I should first apply for SBE?
Yes.
So we provided a lot of information to you today. I think some of the key takeaways, all right? Step 1, if you're not already SBE certified, get SBE certified. And then the next steps can happen concurrently. But register as a vendor with the Port Authority. Go through that procure page that we went through that you'll get the slides from. Additionally, put in an application to join the JMSBE program. Because that together, that will then pre-qualify you to bid on these contracts. It will also make you eligible as a vendor to bid on, and if you are selected, get paid for the work you do on these contracts. Step 3, stay in touch with the people up here, the people in the office. Visit the website that has the forecast of upcoming opportunities, because right now, you just heard about how they're looking at breaking up the scopes of work at LaGuardia. I can tell you right now that there is similar discussions happening and will be happening at JFK later this year. So stay in touch with the people in this office, monitor the website, every couple of weeks, go onto the website and see what's new, what's changed, what opportunities are available. But all of those steps, especially the first 2 I mentioned, SBE certification, JMSBE pre-qualification, registering as a vendor, if you haven't already done that, start that ASAP. Because as was said, these LaGuardia contracts will be going out to bid within a few months, and these steps don't happen overnight. There is a period of time. It can take weeks, it can take months, depending on how complete your application is. If we need to call you and say you're missing some information, if we can't reach your references to verify what you're saying, it will take time. So begin that process, maybe not now because it's a holiday weekend. Maybe you can wait till Tuesday and start after the holiday. But begin it ASAP because we don't want you to miss out on being eligible to compete for these opportunities.
So he mentioned takeaways. There's 2 takeaways that everybody from this room should take away today. 1, what we're doing is intentional, right? We're here on a holiday weekend talking. I'm from Jersey. I travel to Queens. This is intentional. Go Mets. And 2, what we're doing is unprecedented. If you look at any other agency around in the region, what we're doing is unprecedented. Our projects that we're putting out over the next 5 to 10 years, we're talking billion-dollar projects, redevelopment. We're redeveloping JFK, as you heard about. That's almost $20 billion. That don't happen all the time. Those are legacy projects. We have the bus terminal that's being redeveloped. That's another $1 billion project. You said it, I didn't, but $1 billion, right? That's unprecedented. We have our wharf redevelopment. We own all the wharfs, piers, all the ports. Port of New Jersey, New York, we own all the ports. They're developing the 6 that are in 4 that are in New Jersey. $1 billion redevelopment project. So there's a lot of money that we're putting on the street for businesses like yourself, and we're earmarking it for small, diverse businesses. So unprecedented and intentional. When you leave here, understand that we're doing this for you. Okay? Thank you. Yes.
Can I confirm something? If you are MWBE certified with the Port Authority, can you apply for the program?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't need to be SBE?
Oh, no, you don't have to be, okay. So you need to be M&W.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'll take it back.
So M&W, right, that identifies you a minority or woman. SB is small business enterprise. So you need to be a cleaning, janitorial, maintenance, et cetera, MBE or WBE, right? And then you take it up a notch and you're going to look for the SBE, which is another certification. So that's where you get the JM SBE. Yeah, SBE, and then the pre-qualification, and then the pre-qual.
Well, they're not.
Oh, okay.
Well, again, MWBE is not required to be SBE. You can be SBE without being M or W. All right, we're throwing a lot of acronyms out, so we apologize for that, right? But M and W is not a prerequisite for SBE. So just want to clarify that. If some of you are non-M's or W's, doesn't mean you can't be an SBE or be in the JM SBE program. You can.
So meaning Sunday, when I get home, I apply now for the SBE because I'm already MWBE. And once I receive the application, then I can apply for the program.
Yes.
Only after I receive the application.
Meaning approval that you're SBE.
Approval
You get a
of
letter,
SBE.
you get a letter saying you're SBE, and then you can submit for pre-qualification.
With the
for
Port
Gen
Authority.
SBE. Yes.
Do you know how long that will take?
So I'll, sorry. Here you go.
My steps, it's all good.
So our MBE, our WBE, and our SBE program is a 60-day process. That's our KPI. We're targeting 60 days. Our DBE and ACDB, which is our federal program, we didn't mention it because it doesn't apply here, but Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, Airport Concession Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, that's a 90-day KPI, right? So our policy programs, MW, SDVOB, and SBE, are policy programs. They're 60 days. So 60 days from a complete submission of an application.
Now the SBE application can fast track you for the DB application.
So let's pause on that. Let's pause on that.
But the answer is no, that doesn't fast track you for that. But if you being certified with us, it helps you, certain information you need. DB is federal, so there's going to be more documentation. It doesn't necessarily fast track you, but because we certified you as M&W, SDOV, SBE, that helps you. That helps you.
It's better to wait to have an SBE before applying for the DBE.
So let's pause just for 1 second. I just want to, we'll get back to you in just 1 second. I know you've been trying to jump in on something.
I was actually here to just market the rest of Anthony's business. We have thrown a lot of acronyms, that's what we do at the Port Authority. The JMSBE program is for the Small Business Enterprise Certification. If your firm is owned by a minority or woman or service-disabled veteran, you should go to the website and become certified as one of those, whatever those, I don't purport to speak to know what they are, but specifically required. But if you're a minority-owned firm, a women-owned firm, or a service-disabled veteran-owned firm, those are other certifications that the Port Authority offers that would enable a prime to utilize your services and get credit for meeting subcontracting goals, which are generally 20% minority, 10% women, and 3% SDVOB. So there are a lot of different certifications that you can get with the Port Authority. The main object of this meeting today was to talk about the janitorial maintenance SBE program, but there's lots of other things as well.
So you would want to focus on the SBE certification in order to qualify, to pre-qualify for these opportunities.
And
So-
we hope that you'll start the process very, very soon. No holiday weekend for you.
So there's another important point, yeah.
Yeah, there's an important point. Now you're talking about becoming a prime. So we need to make sure you understand as a prime, you still have to meet diversity goals, right? Because now you're the prime. So the MBE, the WBE, and the SDVO, Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Business Goals, they will apply to you, right? The one caveat, you being a certified diverse prime with us, you get credit for your participation. So if you're a prime MBE, you can satisfy the 20% MBE, but you still got to find the W and the SDVOB. If you're a WBE, you got to find the MBE, et cetera. So you're the prime now. So you have responsibility as a prime to make sure diversity on the contract. Okay?
More thing on that topic. And that form that we showed you to fill out about being an interested subcontractor is going to make that process hopefully a lot easier, because it, in addition to being able to check our B2G database, you will have a resource that will have been generated by folks that are interested in being subcontractors and whatever categorization they're certified in. Thanks.
Yes.
So if you're, for example, like SDVOB, you still have to get certified SB to go to the.
Yes.
So again, a lot of acronyms here, and what I would encourage you is if after today, you wake up tomorrow or on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday, you're like, I don't know what the hell they all talked about, right? One, please come back to this office and ask Chanel or Raquel questions. If they don't have answers, they will get you answers, right? So use this office as a resource. But to your question, there are many different certifications. And generally speaking, you should endeavor to get certified in as many as are applicable for you, right? So if you are a minority-owned business that's also owned by a service-disabled veteran, you should get the MBE and the SDVOB. If you're also a small business, you should get the SBE, right? So getting those certifications will help you set yourself apart for all types of contracting opportunities. So as an example, what Anthony just mentioned, right? If a prime contractor gets one of these cleaning contracts, they will still have an MWBE participation goal. They will have an SDVOB participation goal. They will need to go out and seek minority firms, women firms, service-disabled veteran-owned firms to subcontract with them under that contract. So what that means is, let's say you put in a bid for one of these cleaning contracts, you weren't selected, there's still an opportunity for you to potentially come in as a subcontractor to the contractor that was selected. And if you are an MWBE or an SDVOB, that makes you even more attractive to that prime contractor. But to the point of today, what we're trying to do is grow the pool of JMSBE firms in that program. But again, go onto that website and just look at the requirements for each of the certifications. Whatever you believe applies to you, put in an application for that and seek out that certification.
However, you got to be an SBE to qualify.
Yes.
That's the main point.
That's the point, and respectfully, right? All of those, SDVOBs, minorities, those are great categories to also have in addition to.
Yes.
But if you have those other certifications and you're not SBE, it won't matter. So let's focus on the SBEs, and then we can also in parallel work on the MW, SDVOBs as they apply. Okay?
All right. Thanks, guys, for being here. So we're an SBE, but we provide equipment. We don't do the work, we're more of a supplier.
Okay.
So I'm wondering how that applies to the JMSBE.
Who wants to take that?
So, do you want? So, it really doesn't. It doesn't. You can be a.
That's what I was about to say. So, because it's filming, I had to get the mic. So, what that means is that you are not providing direct service was required, right? That means they're looking for a contractor. So, as a supplier, you supply to the contractor. So, what you want to do is know who the plan holders are, and then you're going to market to them that you're a SBE and that you want to supply services and et cetera. Now, for the record, we do not have an SBE goal. So your MBE, your WBE, your SDVOB, that is where you want, as a lower tier, you want to have those other certifications so that prime can get credit, right? That prime is going to be an SBE. So they're going to be looking for MBEs and WBEs as lower tiers, not lower tier SBEs, because we don't have SBE goals. Okay? Okay. Yes.
So before asking so many questions, so example the subcontractor, right? The MWBE still work for that, right?
If you want to be a subcontractor, absolutely, but the prime, whoever that would be subcontracting to you under whatever certification designation that you have. So if you are a MBE, the prime would be getting 20% for your participation. Okay? That makes
So
sense?
meaning for now, I can apply to be a subcontractor until I get my SBE to apply for the program.
So for the interested subcontracting form, that's not guaranteeing any kind of work. It's just a place for information gathering for anybody interested in finding subcontractors in the cleaning space. So sir, your cleaning supplies would probably be a great you could be our first form that shows up on the website if you want. Then whoever is selected as the prime will look at that firm list and can choose to call, maybe not, there's no guaranteeing anything, it's just we're trying to put it out there as much as possible to give an opportunity to the firms like yourselves.
Well, can I add to that?
Of course.
So I work in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. What I can reassure you is that if you put your name on the list and the prime bidders haven't contacted you, their bid is not going to be evaluated highly, right? We're going to ask them, who did you reach out to? We want to know that they reached out to the folks who said they was interested. So we're evaluating them based on their due diligence, right? So when their contract come in for evaluation, I have to approve it.
It's good to be the king.
I just want to, the subcontracting work is not awarded by the Port Authority, right? We don't decide who the prime selects as their subcontractor. So you registering for that list, that doesn't, all we do is we give that list to the prime contractor. We don't tell them you must bring on this firm or that firm. Right, so you have to talk to the prime directly and market yourself as to why you should join that person's team.
So, yeah, happy to sidebar, this is like too detailed, but, so we did the MWBSD. Okay. We don't find a lot of opportunities with the Port Authority when it comes to supplies, we're not.
Supplies of what?
Like cleaning equipment, the stuff we
cleaning
provide.
equipment.
So is that, or you, just to be clear, you're telling me the subcontracting way is probably
Yes. For the best for you.
Yeah, we generally, I don't want to say universally, but generally, we are not
buying the equipment?
correct. We are engaging with contractors that will then go out and purchase supplies and equipment to actually execute on the contract that we have awarded to them. So for a supplier, you are better served reaching out to primes directly and trying to market your services to them.
And this is the great opportunity. There's a room full of primes here.
Don't forget to fill out the new form, too.
Okay?
Any other questions?
See? There you go.
Okay, so Chanel, you're going to close us out? Okay. We're going to, the road show here is going to take a seat.
I wanted to thank some of our partners, one of which is in the room, LaGuardia Community College Apex Accelerator Program. We have Richard Mullings here with us. The Queens Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Queens Economic Development Corporation. They helped us promote this event, so we definitely want to thank them. And all three of those, they are great resources to small businesses. So if you're not already connected with them, please connect with them, get on their list, and take advantage of a lot of the resources that they have. The space is open. We have refreshments in the conference room. All the key players are here. So for those of you who are not certified yet, you want to start with Anthony. Then you want to go and see Risa about getting your certification immediately so you can be in that process. Those of you who are certified, you want to pull Kellyanne aside as well as Tony Vero. He runs the entire airport. So you want to know his name. So take advantage of the opportunity while these individuals are in the room because we want you guys to get these contracts. So thanks again for coming out. This presentation will be emailed to everyone here, so please make sure we have your email address and have a safe and happy holiday weekend. And I think Kellyanne has something to say.
I just want you and Raquel to thank yourself for putting this together.
And Frank. And Frank. And so you guys know, this office is open Monday through Thursday, usually from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We usually do hiring events here. We host small events like this for businesses. But again, we are here as a resource to you if you need any help navigating the airport, have any questions or concerns. But thank you again for coming out.